Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, LolaAjisafe. If your first time coming, second time coming, you haven't been back in a while, welcome back. Happy to have you. Now today we're going back to one of my old favorites. I've been gone a minute, had some things to do, exams, licensing, all these things, but we're back. These are one of my favorite shows, Ready to Love. Now, I'm probably like a little past halfway the season, but that's okay. We're gonna, kiki about what's been going on. It is what it is. So we're jumping right into it. But before we do, housekeeping rules. Don't forget, like this video, y'all. Please hit that like. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with me or if you don't, whatever you feel, just don't cuss me out. Oh, you can. I'm still going to be respectful. But guys, it's just back. It's good to be back on this show. This is one of my favorites. I love to kind of talk about what we see. But without further ado, this is season 4, episode 8, and it's X marks the spot. Okay, so we know how this rolls. Men's lounge. So long and short, this episode really is about, AKA, let me find the X that doesn't hate me to come on the show and help us get through. So let's go into the couples as they start.
Her reaction to me being engaged 3 times is the reaction that I get from everybody. But I don't see it as a red flag because I've already told him we get married like it's forever. You stuck with me forever.
So this is Tamika and Cornelius. Tamika's his ex. As I said, we don't know what number, how far behind the ex is the ex. But anyway, Tamika is the ex. So Cornelius picked to meet Camille. Y'all, Camille is a trip. But that's past episodes. Camille is a trip. That's all I'm going to say. Karma is round and it comes round in a circle. But anyway, before I digress, before Camille comes in, you can see that, Tamika and Cornelius have a nice flow. So maybe they did have something that went wrong or they just kind of evolved into friends. But it goes nicely. Camille shows up, based on that clip I showed you. Camille says that she don't understand why, one would consider 3 engagements a red flag. Right, Now, a red flag, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to, when we say red flag, it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop, run, roll, head in the other direction. But it means stop, pay attention, and see. Because the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So if she's, skipped and jumped away, your job now is to find out why. What transpired? What makes you different? Because the mistake we always make as people is we are different. But essentially, is the person you're dealing with different? Because they might be the common denominator, hence the problem. Or they may not be, but then it's left for you to do this discovery work, which is why the dating process, the courting process is key, fundamental, important. It isn't about just, getting drunk, hanging out, going to the club, Netflix and chill. No, it's about acquiring key information such as this. So is, her having 3 prior engagements, broken engagements, a no-no? It's not a no-no, but it means pay attention. Hence, I would say I would throw up the red flag. I don't have a red flag, but I'm going to have one next week. Throw up the red flag. So sis, that's a red flag. But we're not here to judge. We're just here to say pay attention. Mika says something which I thought was interesting. She said, Camille's saying all the right things, but what's beneath the surface? Up until now, Camille has... she's got this, there's nothing wrong with making these weird faces and this quirky behavior, nothing wrong with that. But, sis, this is like season 4, yo. And it's really season 5 because, Last Resort wasn't included in the numbers. So for real, at this point, you need to understand, Camille, that this show requires you, actually putting your attention on more than one person. We know this. We discussed this last season. It's a game show. We know this. So you have to follow the rules of the game. Camille, you ain't following the rules of the game. And hence you looking, and then you trying to control Cornelius makes you look controlling. Next couple, it's really going to be Phil, having Shiloh and Tissia. I'm going to figure out how to pronounce her name by the next thing, but I'm going to call it Tissia. Let's call it Tissia. Let's call it T, because I might not be saying it right. So, Shiloh and T are the ladies meeting up with Phil's, ex, who is called Deb, let's call her Deb. Phil, Deb meeting, T and Shiloh.
Like Phil and Shiloh were booed up and I was the damn home wrecker. I did not like that at all.
It's awkward.
So what happens is Shiloh comes up first. She's real bubbly. She's similar to his ex, Deb. They get a little, Shiloh understands the game. Or at least the game is working for her right now. She's, key, ka. She's just getting to know the guy, asking key questions, what does he think? And then, of course, T comes in. And she already comes in with like a chip on her shoulder. And she's like, she's feeling some kind of way. As you can see in the video, her face. And the thing is not just face. So, because, they're good at editing. So the cameraman was able to catch a glimpse of her, stone facing, like mugging. She was stone, like me mugging. So it wasn't just that. But when you feel a certain way, the energy is actually, energy, it speaks louder than words. Everything, just the way she was carrying herself. At this point, this is not new. This is not the first time they've had, two of the contestants. I'm using the word contestant. I'm choosing that word because it's a game show. Having the two contestants meet up with the ex. This is not the first time. So why be surprised? Play that game. If you can't play this game, don't come on the show. I think that's the long and short of it. But let me quickly take a left here. You see how Phil has come up, like he come to front run all of a sudden, like he King Kong, he the owner of the jungle, he got everybody coming for him. Like, what, Jay, who? Okay, I'm back to the script. So you see how T, nobody wants someone who is, stone fit, because T, by all, accounts, nice girl, she's this, she's that, she's all these nice things, definitely attractive lady. But it's such a short show with it's like speed dating. You need to make this impression in 3 minutes. If you can't do it, don't go on the show. We can't blame the show. Now, we can blame there are shady producers, but at the same time, it's like life. Life is not fair. We know this. Those of us of chocolate persuasion know that life is not fair, but we still have to put our, we need to be running in the game. We need to put our hat in the game, and we need to run, and we need to just run with all we have and put our best foot forward. T did not put her best foot forward in this scene. And that might have cost her it. I don't know. Maybe because, maybe she was meant to go in here. But it didn't it didn't look great.
I'm having a hard time figuring out who I think would be best for you. When it comes to like family values, that's what you want too. You want marriage, you want kids, you want that family. But you're going out with two very different women.
That is a fact.
I'm worried about you actually truly knowing what you want and knowing what you need.
So this is really Frank, his ex Leah, who gets to meet Mooman and Sydney. There is, Mooman walks in, just something I like about Mooman. She's a lovely chocolate sister, strong, but she has a cool, easy energy. I don't know, everybody's different. Well, for me, energy is everything. Energy is key. And so the energy comes across as just warm and just chill. Like she's just nice vibes. Everybody likes to use the word, this term now, vibes. So it's like she has a nice vibe. So she comes off across nice. She's, she talks with, Leah. Sydney comes in. She is, I think she's also in like I don't want to call it entertainment, but the nightlife business or something. I don't remember what she did, but I think that's what it was. I'll find out. I remember next week. But she knows how to come into a room, come into a cold room and try and warm it up. This is probably what she does, and she does it well. So she comes in, hey, it works for a few minutes, definitely. It's better than just kind of, sitting in a corner and scouting. So she's not intimidated by the presence of another woman. Important. Good gameplay, good choice. So the ladies start talking. But what's weird about this encounter is all of a sudden, Sydney and Mooman, they bring out, Sydney does it first, brings out like her little, a phone. She got like notes of questions and immediately starts firing questions at Leah to try and get the scoop. And Frank's sitting there squirming. I'm like, G, bruh, stand up, put your chest out, say, nah, G, this is not how it works. Like, this is my game. At least let me get mine in. Let me clear you. Let me vet you. You don't vet me yet. You do that after I vetted you. But he let it go on for a couple minutes, sitting down like squirming. Then finally, Leah's like, oh yeah, that's true. This is the real assignment is to vet these chicks. They're not meant to be vetting him. So they kind of go into the questioning, and then they start doing what they're meant to do. Leah, I don't know. Leah seemed to have like an easy energy and what I thought was honest. because a lot of time you see all the other exes or friends, you know, having a lot to say, blah, 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 blah. And more often than not, honestly, I think sometimes the exes or the friends overshoot. But I feel like Leah was quite succinct in her summation, where the video kind of clip showed where she's like, you know, these are two different kind of women, and I don't know if you're going to be able to pick the right one for you. But then she's giving him the theme. Remember, your key or what you want is family. Now, I don't know if that was code for Leah not wanting to pick one outright. I mean, being that, you know, she's a vanilla sister. She's picking, you know, she's picking some chocolate sisters. We're all sisters, but maybe she don't want to look crazy. So maybe she just want to be, you know, sometimes some people want to be subtle. Like a therapist, I don't need to tell you how to think. I'm just going to leave you crumbs and then you need to figure it out yourself. So it might be a combination of all of that. I don't know. But she wasn't definitive. She didn't pick and say, yeah, that one's better for you, which I kind of like. Like, I'm just going to throw out, like, what I know you like is this. And this is what these people are. You need to put the dots together, then it might mean more, as opposed to someone giving you an opinion and you might just kind of take that opinion in without any, you know, analytical thought process involved in it. And I kind of liked how Leah played that. Going on to one of the couples here. Walter. Walter has, you know, cool, calm brother. Interesting. I'm not jumped the gun this season. All right, Walter, you all right. You all right right now. I don't know who you is, but you all right. So that's what we're going to do. And so we meet with his ex, Denise. Yeah, Denise is interesting. Like, I haven't seen that long nail thing in a while. I don't know, you know. If it works for her, it works for her. But for me, it's like, how'd you eat? How'd you wash your face? How'd you clean your butt? I don't know. But I guess if you have them on your fingers, you know what to do. So I don't know if it was, yeah, that's all. So anyway, you know, Sabrina comes in. Now I'm going to give my good sis Sabrina. Sabrina has presence. She walks in like she knows who she is. I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. And this is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. I'm saying all this, like, I'm just coming up with summation just to know how she wore. Like, she's a fashion designer, so she can put an ensemble together, and she had the ensemble together, okay? So she comes in, what up, G? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? But what I thought, the exchange that was interesting of note here is it got to a part where, you know, Denise said what she needs to say. You crazy? No, you ain't crazy. You is crazy, yeah, whatever. I don't know.
What do you want to know about him?
I feel like any questions that I may have of Walter, I can ask Walter, and I believe he will genuinely give me the honest answer. So I don't feel like I need to talk to anyone else to validate who he is.
Denise seemed a little bit all over the place at first, and then, you know, got to a point where Denise is, you know, she's like, so what questions do you have for me? And Michael says, Sabrina, say. Her answer, you know, based on the clip I showed, was, you know, how she felt that any kind of questions and answers, she would get them directly from Walter, and he wouldn't lie to me. Now, two things here of note here is, like, one, I feel, like I say, I'm just basing my, you know, my assessment on the clip that was shown on OWN Network. I'm not saying that's what she did, because I haven't spoken with her personally. I don't know what she was thinking, but just looking at it, it looks like she's like, Naji, we ain't going to shift power. What you're not going to do is be in a position of power, so I'm coming to you to get information. She's like, Naji, if I want information, I can get it. I got it. Information is power, period. This is DC too. DC is about power, and information is power. That's just my summation. I feel like that was it. Like, there's a shift of power. Like, you know, she don't want to shift that power dynamic. No, what I'm not going to do is grovel and ask you questions and wait for you to talk slowly and play games with me. And you can keep that, sis. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's what, but yeah, that's what it felt like. You know, so I get that. I get that part, but at the same time, maybe if she'd asked certain kind of questions, some of that information could be useful. It's either or. It's hard to say what is, but keep in mind, it's still a game show. At that point in time, I feel like Sabrina felt the need to maintain the power dynamic, and what she wasn't going to do is say please and thank you. So, you know, we leave that alone. Then Movement, and of course now they're doing this a lot more, I think, where they're kind of, you know, having the dates stacked. So Movement comes in shortly afterwards, and then I guess, you know, Sabrina's surprised. She like, what the who? You mean y'all gonna play me like I'm a little girl? Heck to the no. She's like, deuces. She sprints off. Now, in real life, I can't say that was, you know, a hasty decision or not, but that's how she felt in the moment, and that's what she did. I guess the most important thing, I think, is staying true to yourself. Because whether you get the guy or you don't get the guy, because at this point, I think we all know that the chances of you getting someone and it lasting after the show is quite low. We're talking about 3 to 5%, maybe that, if that at all. So at this point, you come on the show, be yourself, play the game the best way you can, be authentic, be sincere, but still you have to play the game. That's the essence of this. And I think the outcome of the show may not necessarily be a date or a man, but maybe exposure for whatever business or whatever you're trying to spin off after this. That's really the payoff at this point, because I don't know, like we just haven't had so much success. All I can remember, I think so far we really only had one couple, and they didn't even couple on the show. They coupled after the show. And right now their names escape me, so I'm like, we're going to play around. But it was Mario and the other, I don't remember what her name was. Marrying the lady. But anyway, I digress. So I think that's what's most important, being true to yourself. So she decides to up and leave. Is that a good decision? I don't know. She just said, what you're not going to do. So what you're not going to do is play me and have me sit down like we're just going to be competing for your attention. Because that's not happening up in here. So any woman comes in, you know, nice girl. Like I said, woman has a nice vibe. She has a nice easygoing vibe. And so, you know, I think, like I said, it's all about energy. Her energy is very calm. And when you compare the energy of Sabrina and the energy of Mumen, on camera, it just seems like, you know, Mumen's more like a more soothing, calmer energy. Let's go back. Something I was wondering, maybe Sabrina is over this. And she's, yeah. And if that's it, I get it. You know, because sometimes, you know, some of them are saying that they didn't watch the show before, so they don't know that they throw these little curveballs to maybe make it entertaining for us. I don't know. As a person, it's like just knowing who you are and knowing your worth. You know what you bring to the table. This show, it might have some great exposure. What you're not going to do is bring me out my character and bring me out my personality and make me be what I'm not, or try and portray me as something that I'm not. Because I think a lot of the times when we do see a lot of the contestants after the show, that's the biggest thing they might have beef with, if they felt they were portrayed or if they even acted or reacted in such a way that wasn't true to who they were. Because in such a situation such as this, where the circumstances are so fake and artificial, it's very easy to be drawn out of who you really are and what you stand for. So I think that's sometimes like this, when it's filming and they're trying you, stage left, that's really all you can do. And that's what Sabrina did. I'm not mad at that. So going on back to where Mumen comes in, you know, Denise brings up the sex question, because we know Mumen has mentioned in the past that she's saving herself. She's not celibate. She's, you know, she's dividing. She's not saying she's celibate. She's saying she's abstinent. Hence means that she's not doing anything until she's in a relationship, a marriage, not relationship, in a marriage. Now, I would say that being celibacy is saving yourself in a relationship. No, abstinence is saying you're saving yourself after you've given your vows. And so what I thought was, you know, it's a weird question. It's a personal question. I don't know you. You don't know me. Don't be asking me these questions, but you can ask. I don't remember how, you know, women answered. But, you know, she's you know, she just kind of da-da-da-da. And so after she left, you know, when they have their little discussion, you know, Denise was like, yeah, I think she will change her mind. I think that's insulting. That's insulting. And especially coming from a fellow woman. And maybe Denise, you know, like when camera's rolling, you don't know what to say. You might just say anything. Who knows? I don't know. But, you know, Denise saying that maybe she'll change her mind. She's just, no, don't think or speak for her. She says that's what she said. Like, you know, take my word for what it is. Believe what I say. This is what I said, at least until I say other or do otherwise. So I don't like that. But anyway, you know, at the same time, Denise does say she prefers, you know, Mumen for Walter. And, you know, that, you know, she feels like, you know, Sabrina's a little crazy. She's that. And you didn't get all that from that interview, although I didn't see all the clips. I didn't see the full thing. I was given clips that were edited into the show. So maybe there were other things they saw, but based on their interaction, I didn't see anything that made me think, tick, tick, boom. So no, I don't think Sabrina's crazy, but I think what may have transpired is the energies, there was an energy clash. Sabrina was not going to bow down and say, hey, miss, tell me, give me the deal, spill the tea. Like, I'm turning to you, ma'am. Like, she wasn't going to say, yes, please, ma'am, thank you. No, she stood up and said, gee, this is who I is, and this is where I be. And that was it. So I think maybe that energy clash was more of the issue, as opposed to her being crazy and being controlling. And I don't know. I didn't see that transpire. It may have, it may not. But from now, I can only base it on what I'm seeing. And I didn't get that. But I just figured that the energies didn't melt. They didn't kind of mesh. That's it. All right, going on to the next couple was Dante. I'm sorry, Dante. I'm going to get used to these names. halfway through the season, I need to get a hang on these names, right? So Dante and his ex Stacy get to meet with Zadia and Shiloh. Long and short of the long story is, Stacy seemed like a real nice lady. She gave Dante really good compliments about, she can see how he's grown. Lovely. That was definitely a good thumbs up for him. And then, her conclusion, and I think that's a good stamp of approval if the ex can say if she's not lying, if like they're in cahoots together for a business or something. If the ex is not lying, if she's telling the truth, that definitely is a stamp of approval to say, yeah, if he was available now, I would date him, knowing that they might have had some kind of messy history. So that, that's great. And then something she says that I thought was really important was, when she was deciding who she liked, she used the words where she felt like, Shiloh was, looking for light, digging for gold, just looking for the important, the light aspect of it. Whereas, Zadia was just digging for dirt. Sometimes, when you're going through the courting and vetting process, you kind of have to have a balance of both. But at this moment, it's really such a cutthroat, condensed process where you're comparing everyone. So it's hard to really see that. You do need to kind of, because you go for a job interview. I mean, some of the questions they'll ask you, but like, what are your poor qualities? What do you think what could you do better? Because they want to see how you react in a situation. Who are you truly? So it's not bad to, to ask the hard, questions that might dig up dirt, but you probably don't want your full content to be that, and you don't want to lead with that. So maybe that's just comparing them like that, made it look that way, where Shiloh is, I guess emotionally enlightened and light. But she's the intimacy coach or something, so she has a nice, energy to her. I keep coming up with this energy. She just has a nice, light energy to her.
What's your love language? Do you know?
Mine is quality time. Physical touch and gifts kind of switch
physical
back
touch
and
is not on his list like that. He doesn't like to cuddle.
I mean, I'm just saying.
False.
You just didn't like to cuddle with me.
I didn't say that.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's all good.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
She tells me that Nah doesn't like to cuddle. Possible red flag.
Naeem and his ex Victoria, they meet up with Zadia. Yeah, this is what I'm going to say. So in the little piece I showed you there, Zadia they were talking about love languages. Zadia and Victoria were talking, and then Victoria happens to say what she said, talk about, he don't like cuddling, he don't like this, All right, so Zadia in her confessionals talking about how, it's a red flag if you're not affectionate, or if your ex says you're not affectionate, maybe, because everybody has a different, you experience people differently. I, for example, know that I'm a chameleon. I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing, but I do reflect the energy I'm given. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm probably different with different people in relationships. I don't know if everybody's like that, but I can definitely say I'm like that. Because I feed off energy. It's a gift and a curse. I don't know. I'm not here to analyze myself. But what I think is, the red flag is not that she said he's not affectionate. I think the red flag is that little exchange they had there. Like, yo, you ain't done. Like, what's all that? Like, oh, you weren't affectionate with me. Yo, sis, camera's rolling. Like, I'm talking to Stacey. I'm talking to Victoria right now. Victoria, like, sis, camera rolling. Like, it's not about you, sis. We're talking about Zadia and the homie, Naeem. Not you. That's the red flag. That's the red flag, Zadia. So that's what you need to know. Because, before we know, Victoria could be talking her ass. Excuse my French. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that little interaction right there. Watch out. And, as we're kind of running up these meet my ex or meet the one that hates me the least, I don't know. I can't remember prior seasons, but did some of the women never go on and meet the ex date? Because I didn't see Aisha on this episode. Like, why are you going to do my girl like this? Like, y'all will give... Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but I didn't see Aisha. Everybody have all these great things to say about Aisha, but she's not good enough to meet the ex. I'm just speculating here. Let's just see where this goes, because she's still on the show. If I remember correctly, she's still on the show. She's coming up next week. But anyway, let's move it on. So there's a quick meetup date. Sydney, she a G. She's a coup plotter. She playing her game, staking her prize. She a little predator. So she invites Phil, the hot new thing on the block. Like, he's the hottest thing on the block right now. And I can kind of see he's got like an easy energy, definitely easy on the eyes. Seems to be a good height, good build. And so she invites him for their little date. It's a little cutesy date. Sydney playing that game. She playing like she's good at this. She works in night industry, nightlife. So she's like, oh, you make me giggly, blah, 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 blah. Watch out for Sydney. Sydney trying to play to the end. She did come in the middle. She's playing for keeps. She understands the game. I think that's what's key. She's playing the way she's playing. I keep using the word playing because it's a game show. She's playing the way she's playing. She's going to be in the final. She's going to end up with someone. I don't know if they'll stay together, but she's going to end up in the final. Let's see how this goes. I'll be surprised, you know, because, I mean, there have been surprises. Yo, when they threw Courtney out, I mean, I was surprised. You know, I may not play the game the way Courtney does, but still, yo, Courtney just got kicked out. And I was like, do what? Even Sean's exit, but yeah, Sean was thrown in so far into the middle of the game and he wasn't for the shits, and so he was like, phew. But yeah, so there have been some surprise exits or eliminations. Gentleman's Lounge, you know, they kind of talk. I think of note here, you know, Dante did kind of mention that even though he didn't invite Aisha for Meet My Ex date, he met up with her, blah, okay. And then, you know, the guys, you know, to sit on Cornelius for a while. Now, Cornelius, if we just break him down for a second, you know, handsome guy, nice build, definitely smart. He's an electrical engineer, so he understands math. You know, I'm not sure how emotionally intelligent he is because I haven't really got a good whiff of him yet. But, bruh, not picking up on some stuff. Like, I don't know why he's, like, attached to Camille. And I don't feel like he's feeling Camille like that. I feel like Camille is almost like a safe space for him. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell y'all. He's just not picking up. And so the guys, you know, nephew, Uncle Tommy, I'm going to stop saying that, but now I can't get rid of it. Nephew, Uncle Tommy say that, bruh, you notice any red flags? And what they were talking about, there's a scene downstairs that I didn't bother to attach to the video where she's like, yo, when she leaving, how long she gonna be? Like, sis, stay cute and put it on mute. Like, you playing a game. And I hate to say that, but true, it is. Like, you coming out the gate like this. I'm not saying don't be yourself, but if you're coming out the gate like this, what are you going to do when you're real comfy? Like, you're going to be something else. And I don't think anybody wants to be told what to do, how to do, and when to do it. Like, we're just not going to do that because we're all grown. And I don't think she wants someone to tell her how to be and how to do. So she's going to need to bring it back, fall back, and sit and be pretty. And not like that, but like that. Like, don't do it. Like, so everybody else is like, yo. So, you know, during the, you know, the deliberation, they were ready to cut. Like, look, if Walter hadn't said he wanted to save Camille, I think Camille would have gone home and not Tissia or T. I'm going to call her T because I'm going to figure out how to pronounce her name. T went home because Walter felt sorry for Cornelius because he figures that if Camille goes, that means Cornelius is going right after. But if Walter was playing the game the way the game meant to be played, but you see how boys look out for each other? But if Walter was, you know, playing the game the way it needs to be played, yeah, they would have put Camille on the block and she'd be gone. And the irony of that is, while he's trying to save his boy and his boy's love interest, his boy turns around and puts his lady, one of his top interests, on the chopping block. Because there's no rhyme or reason as to why Sabrina should have been in the final 2 of the elimination dates. I'm just saying what I'm thinking. Don't mean there's the gospel truth, but I don't think Sabrina should have been in the bottom 2. Camille. I don't know what kind of, you know, what game. Anyway, the gods of luck were shining on you that day because Walter felt for you. But Walter, real life, that's why I say they manufacture all these situations and circumstances in such a fake scenario, so it's hard to really say what's real and what's not. But at the same time, even though there's so much interference, it still kind of plays out to show you real life. Because you have people you're batting for who will turn around and betray you. How does this boy in one breath at that table, I don't care how many cuts they had, how does he say, I'm batting for my boy here, so I'm not going to put his girl on the block? And his boy turn around and put his lady on the block. Where'd they do that at? That's the only way I can say.
So the gentleman, myself, we all did decide that we're giving you another chance for you to be able to find love. But in doing so, I do want you to know what's being discussed right now.
I probably could have done more, but I didn't because they weren't doing anything.
And that's your truth.
So you see, you know, Sabrina look at, you know, Frank talking, he talking. And when he said, what the words he used? We want the guys and I want to give you another chance. Like Sabrina, she know how to play chess because her face barely showed it, but I was really meaning into just the way her face was moving a little bit. She's like, you giving me another chance? Me and you, we're not on the same level. I'm just guessing that's what she was thinking because she wasn't amused. And she went on to say that, look, this is a dating show. game show, and y'all are not even reaching out to the women. That's the worst thing ever, because I've said this a couple of times, I'm going to say it again. The role, in my book, the role of pursuit lies in him, not her. That's just my personal opinion, and I feel Sabrina feels the same way. Why should I be out there chasing you? And she's a little exasperated by it, and I can identify with that. Because if that's truly what's happening, if the guys are just showing up for filming, then at the end of the day, then this is not a dating show. It's not even like it's not even a well-constructed game show then, because the whole point is about dating and meeting. And if the guys are not reaching out, which is what I believe they should do, that's how it works. And what are we doing here? What I'm not going to do is chase you. The Sabrina says somebody she's going to be chasing the chicks because the chicks going to appreciate her chasing her. I'm with her all the way on that. Once again, know your worth. She's like, what I'm not going to do is this. I don't need to be chasing you guys. What do you mean I haven't put myself out there? I've done da, and barely anyone. I think only Walter's returning my call. Stuff like that. And I get that. And then going on to the final scene.
You are the realest person here. And it's just how this process and this journey goes.
I guess being real don't make the cut.
What is this clip here? So we know T's gone home. You know, what's his name? Phil. We like him right now. He's the hottest thing on the block. He's the new kid on the block, you know. He found a very soft and kind way of, and he said, I don't know if it's true, but he said that he wanted to be the one on the date to let her know, and he tells her how, you know, she real, she all that. But, and I like the way T's exit. T had, like, you know, a graceful exit, you know, and I think her answer kind of gives a summary to when you ask, you know, what does it take to be successful on the show? And she says, so I guess being real don't make the cut. And so to a certain extent, that's probably true. Guys, we've come to the end of, you know, this review. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down here. And let me know what you think. I've started including clips on these videos. Put a little bit of work in the editing. So thank you for watching. Lola, over and out.